All right, well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Samantha and I go by she or her pronouns, and I'm pleased to be your host for today's Student Learning Center What Is It Good For session as part of Ryerson's virtual open house, which is taking place from November 9th to the 13th and the 16th to the 20th. There are many sessions taking place across these 2 weeks, and we encourage you to visit our website and register for any other sessions that may interest you. To start, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the land that Ryerson is on. Ryerson and Toronto are in the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. And to me, the land acknowledgement is just a reminder of our need to amplify more Indigenous voices, as well as the work that needs to be done continually towards truth and reconciliation. Ryerson has shifted to an essential services model to help prevent the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. We have put together a series of virtual sessions in order to share information and connect with you. Ryerson is working diligently to provide students with fulsome experiences while maintaining the health and safety of our community. Now, a few Zoom housekeeping tips before we get started. We encourage you to ask questions throughout the session. We have many faculty and staff members here to answer your questions. So to do so and to ask questions, simply hover your cursor over the Q&A box at the top of your Zoom window, click the Q&A pod to launch it, and type your questions throughout the session. If you are having any audio or video issues, feel free to flag it in the Q&A box, and one of our staff members will be happy to try and help you with that. This presentation will be closed captioned to ensure accessibility. If you require closed captioning, please select that option at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Also note that the majority of our virtual open house sessions will be recorded and available on our website later on. Now, before we get started, we would like to take a moment to launch a poll to let us know who is joining us today. So I will be launching that right now. I'm curious if you'd like to fill out our poll and let us know who is joining us, whether you are a prospective student looking to apply for fall 2021, maybe you're looking at applying sometime in the future. Perhaps you're a university or college transfer student, maybe you're a parent or a guardian interested in the SLC, or perhaps you're a teacher or a counselor. One of the greatest and most exciting things about having this virtual open house be virtual rather than in person is the fact that we are able to connect with so many people from both across Canada as well as around the world. I'm going to wait one more second to see if any other last answers trickle through, and I will end it. So let's see. The majority of you are prospective for fall of 2021. That's amazing. Welcome to everyone, though. We're excited that you're interested in learning more about our Student Learning Center and Ryerson University. And I don't want to delay that any further, so I'd now love to introduce you to Kathy from our Student Learning Center to get us started. So over to you, Kathy.
Thank you so much, Samantha, for the introduction. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Ryerson and the Sheldon and Tracy Lovey Student Learning Center, or as we like to call it, SLC for short. If you don't know what the SLC is, it's basically a place designated with students in mind, where you can study, collaborate, and event all together. And I'm really excited that you're all here to join us virtually today. So we go to the next slide, please. So a bit about myself before we get started. My name is Kathy. I'm also a student SLC specialist here, so I work here at the SLC. I'm also a student, so I'm in my third year in the business management program and the marketing major. And I'm also in the co-op program as well, so my program is 5 years instead of 4. If you need questions, we'll be answering Q&A questions throughout the session and doing a live Q&A at the very end. But you can pop any questions you may have below, just as Samantha mentioned, and I can help answer any questions about student life, what's like working when you're doing a student, what's it like being a Ryerson student in the business management program, and student groups in general. But I'm so glad you're all here today. So we're going to start off with the video first. So that's a quick little brief introduction of what the SLC is. So as an SLC specialist, I also am part of the student engagement leadership team, known as the SEAL team here. Basically, the SEAL team is like a dedicated group of students and staff working together to keep the SLC world class. We're always here to assist you with directions, questions, or concerns. Just look for us in our red or black shirts roaming around the building or at the welcome desk. So here we have is what is the SLC? So SLC, as I mentioned beforehand, it's a space dedicated where students can study, collaborate, and event. The SLC features eight floors of unique study space based on input from hundreds of students. Students can find collaborative workrooms here, quiet study spaces, casual seating, and open space, all with bright natural light for an optimized student experience. So then the next slide. So another introduction about our student first team. So the team that operates the SLC, called the Student Engagement and Leadership Team, has stated our principle as meeting the needs of the students. Our team has a predominantly student staff core supported by key full-time staff. This model really ensures that the integration of students are into the heart of the SLC, empowering student-centric ideas and decisions. And go to the next slide, please. So some awards, we have some critical awards in this building. So this world-class design was designed by two architects, Noah and Zardner. The design of the SLC has led to many awards, including the 2017 Toronto Urban Design Award, the Canadian Architect Award of Excellence in 2011, and the LEED Gold Certification 2016. And you don't know what LEED is, it stands for Leadership in Energy Environmental Design, and we're proud to be part of Ryerson's commitment to sustainability. So now we have a poll question to figure out more about yourselves. So I want to take a second to ask you folks, like, what kind of study environment do you prefer? Do you prefer a quiet and focused, a casual and relaxed, a bright and sunny, or a group oriented and enthusiastic? So put in your answers and want to see what you're thinking about. Ooh, so we see, look at that, close ties. So we have a quiet and focused space and also casual and relaxed. Honestly, both are one of my favorite types of study environment. As you'll see throughout the presentation, we do have spaces for those that are like a quiet and focused space because we do have a silent study floor, and also those that are casual and relaxed. So we'll have all the suitable needs for you at the SLC. So I'm going to the next one. Yeah, so at the SLC, we have a wide range of student space and support available to all Ryerson students. We will start off with the 8th floor, also known as the Sky, and we'll make our way down through floor by floor, all the way down to the 1st floor. If you have any questions throughout our virtual tour, I do remind you that you can use the Q&A feature, or you can wait until the end and we'll be able to answer your questions live. So we can go to the next slide, please. Yeah, so we'll play a video first. Okay, so that was like a brief tour of our 8th floor. As you can see, a lot of great features on this floor. Some you may saw beforehand is that this floor offers both individual study space and collaborative study space, where students can come together and work with their peers. Of course, with our COVID situation right now, 2 meters apart for all the students, but also in this floor, you'll find that we have collaborative study spaces. In this particular section, it was named the Sarah B. Marwell Learning Exchange as part of Ryerson's Make Your Mark campaign. So Sarah B. was the first member of a visible minority group to hold a senior position in banking and in corporate Canada at large, and he continues to be a role model to countless individuals through his extraordinary charitable and community work. Also, you can see right there, the sky provides a great panoramic view of the city and provides lots of natural light. The pattern of the window is called a frit pattern. So the shapes of the frit pattern has 3 different factors that make it so unique and special. So A, it helps with solar glare, so boosting overall energy efficiency of the building, and mitigates bird strikes. And also it's a great way because it frames the city through little frames of the city view. A fun fact that you may not know, but the frit pattern on those windows is also copyrighted to Ryerson University. As we can go to our next slide, please. So here is another picture of the 8th floor. So you can see right there, lots of natural light coming in. And also on the 8th floor, so particularly this area, it's kind of like a cafe seating area. So there's lots of chairs and desks where people can work together and do homework and assignments. I found this floor really helpful because sometimes after class, I like to come here with my friends and we start working on assignments together and all that great stuff. Next, we're going to the next slide, please. So we're going to play a quick video of the floor. Yeah, so that was an overview of the 7th floor. So 7th floor, we also know as the 4. So this is the perfect floor for those that participate in our poll today that mentioned they like a quiet, focused study space. This is the floor for you. Reason being is that this 7th floor of the SLC is dedicated to providing students a quiet and focused study space. This is really, really helpful, especially during exam periods or when you have a major assignment coming due soon and you want to get focused right on it between classes. This is the floor for you. I have used this floor many times. It's one of my favorite floors because I can really get my work done. So this is a really great floor for that. Also on this floor, you'll see as in the video, there is a bookable collaborative and group workrooms, TGWRs, and a reserved study space for graduate students. Also, these collaborative group workrooms are also available on the 8th, 7th, and 5th floor in SLC. These rooms also allow for group study of 48 people, depending on the room size, and each CWR is equipped with a table, chairs, whiteboard, markers, and a screen. And also collaborative group workrooms are currently unavailable right now for booking because of COVID, because we want to take precautions to keep students safe and healthy. But pre-COVID, it was a really great space because Ryerson students are able to book the room online, and then they can come in together, do a lot of group projects. I found it helpful because sometimes I would do like study sessions with my friends, and we would come in here and get stuff done and study for classes. So it's a really great space. We'll go to the next floor, please. Okay, so that's the 6th floor. Honestly, 6th floor is probably one of my most favorite floors, especially when showing people, because it's breathtaking. It's something you do not expect, especially when you're in the city. So the 6th floor is clearly one of our most popular floors, and it's the beach. Because the sloping blonde wood flooring, which is like the sand, and the blue stripes, like the waves, and then near the southwest corner, near the windows, you can see it's a green-blue carpet that's sort of a representation of the lake. Also, the ceiling, as you can see there, are rope lighting in circular, so resembling the sun. The slopes are also ramps in the beach floor, so we are designed for stability so that everyone can enjoy the beach. And also, a really cool thing is that the blinds on this floor are all programmed based on geolocation scheduling to match the position of the sun, so they rise and fall automatically based on the sun's position. This floor is designed to be comfortable and casual with movable and lounge chair seating. So for those that participate in our poll beforehand, that mentioned they like a relaxed and casual study space, this is the space for you. It's honestly one of a great places to be at, because if you're looking for a place to relax or work where you can bump up the volume a couple notches, this is it. The beach offers the largest casual study space for students to come out or work in a relaxed setting. This is a great time because since Ryerson is really a big commuter school, so this floor was designed in the minds of commuter students. For me, I'm a commuter student. I commute about an hour away each time to come to campus. So between classes, this is one of my go-to spots because I can relax, watch a Netflix movie, have some lunch with my friends on the space. It was a really great time. So look out for this space when you're coming on campus. I can go to the next slide, please. So here's another picture. This is what it looks like when it's busy, full of students. Of course, it's not like this right now because COVID, but pre-COVID, it was a space that was always bustling and moving around with students because it's always a great place to find and chill out in. Let's move to our next floor, please. So play another video. So that's the 5th floor. So for those that person in their poll as well, they mentioned they like relaxed and casual space. The 5th floor is another great option because it offers the best perfect balance for students. It's a place where it's not too much noise, but it's not entirely silent either, like the 7th floor, making a great learning space to study, casually sit, or even relax, or grab a bite to eat. With desks placed along the border of north and west perimeter and floor-to-ceiling windows, you're guaranteed to find a seat with a nice view. Bright, inviting, and cozy, the 5th floor is a perfect and favorite study spot for many students. Also, a really cool thing is that the SEAL team recently moved our headquarters on the 5th floor. So if you ever have any questions, directions, or anything you may need us for, you know where to find us. Also, you can always find us roaming around the building in our nice bright red or black shirts. So you're going to the next floor, please. So that was the 4th floor. It's also known as the garden. You can see a lot of green furniture there. So basically the 4th floor is home to the student life and learning support, academic accommodation support, and the test center. This floor is a hub for services and programs aimed at helping students engage more effectively in their academic studies. They teach essential academic skills and study techniques that help students to be more effectively express their intelligence, apply their knowledge, and communicate their ideas. Before the SLC was built, the student services were all over the place on campus, so you had to go to multiple places if you want to access these services. But ever since the SLC was built, they've been merged all together into one floor on the 1st floor. So it's kind of like almost like a one-stop shop, convenient stop for you. These services offered here include academic accommodation support and test center, math and computer science support, study skills and transition support, writing and language support, and help for graduate students. This year, you'll find a wide range of their services provided entirely online. You can visit their website, which is shown on the presentation right there, or you can keep up with their Instagram with their Instagram handle right there, Ryerson SLLS. This common area is named the Harry Rosen Learning Lounge in honor of Harry Rosen and supporting donors who raised $170,000 through a funding campaign that raised this money to go towards accessibility initiatives. Also, really fun fact about this floor is that it's one of our 3 green roofs in the building. It's also located on this floor. As mentioned, the green roofs help SLC achieve the LEED certification, which stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, Gold certification. The SLC also has a rainwater harvest system, which is large enough to store and distribute 9,235 cubic meters of rainwater per year. The collected water can be used for green roof irrigation system, toilets, and urinals, which has approximately saved 3.5 Olympic-sized pools worth of water each year. That's a lot of water that we get to save and be environmental sustainability here at Ryerson. With this floor, I've used it personally before. I use them in person and online. I use them really helpful in terms of writing support. So when you're writing those essays and you need someone to look over your work and to make sure your grammar is good, or to make sure that you're how to cite properly so you don't get charged with plagiarism. This is seriously the best place to be at because they're so helpful and so supportive for our students at Ryerson. So we go to our next floor, please. All right, so that was the third floor, also known as the bluff. So the third floor is home to academic stakeholders at the SLC and also known as the Innovation Hub here. On this floor, as shown in the video, you'll find the Ryerson Library's Isaac Allowalt Junior Digital Media Experience Lab, also known as the DME, which allows all students to engage in hands-on innovation and experimental learning with state-of-the-art and new technologies. In this floor, you'll find in the DME, there are 3D printing and augmented sandbox, VR equipment, and more. If you want to learn more about the Ryerson Library on Instagram, you can follow there. The username is on the slide, and Ryerson U Library. That's the Instagram handle. On this floor, you'll also see the DMZ Sandbox. And what the DMZ Sandbox, it's our startup and talent incubator that helps emerging entrepreneurs turn their innovative ideas into competitive tech business. The DMZ Sandbox is a feeder program at the DMZ, which is one of our zones on campus. So on campus, we have 10 zones. We have fashion, design fabrication, transmedia, social venture, and iBoost. Its zone learning provides opportunities to shape initiatives from the ground up and gain experience that prepares you for the real world. And who knows, maybe when you attend Ryerson, you may be using and be part of one of the zone learnings, especially if you're a budding entrepreneurship and you have an idea that you want to explore. You can follow them on Instagram as well for the DMZ at DMZ Sandbox. So on to the next slide here, please. So as you can see here, here's a picture of the DME in there. So it's really cool features. A lot of times students are in there building really cool things or kind of playing around with technology. There's also very, very welcoming. So you can visit them even when you're on campus at Ryerson. But here's an example of someone using some VR technology. Go to the next slide, please. so that was our second floor of the SLC, also known as the bridge. So this year, to help the SLC and the Ryerson University's library to implement safe practices during the time, the bridge is unfortunately closed to the entry of the library. But if you would like to access the library, you just have to go through the Victoria Lane main entrance. But however, in normal times, the bridge connects the SLC and Ryerson Library together. The library provides a rich environment where students are able to be supported through digital and academic services, and a culture of collaboration and creativity is fostered. This really cool feature of the bridge is you're able to not just access the library, but you're also able to access different parts of campus from the SLC. So you can walk from the SLC to library, Kerr Hall, Podium, Jorgensen Hall, and Rogers Communication Center. This connection between the SLC and other parts of campus can be really come in handy during especially those cold winter months when you do not want to walk outside to class. So you can do so by walking through the SLC and going through the many indoor paths. It's a great way to keep warm during those cold, chilly Canadian months. So we can go to our next slide, please. So this is our first and final floor of our tour. It's the first floor, also known as the Valley. So this large open space is usually able to be booked by students, faculty, and staff to host events. This space has traditionally been used for campus events, performances, and outreach tabling for student groups. This year, the amphitheater kind of has been a bit quieter than usual. However, when things get back to normal, we invite you to hang out in this open tiered seating and enjoy the spacious, sunny space. Have any questions when you're here at the SLC? We have staff readily available here at the welcome desk and roaming throughout the building to assist and guide students and visitors. Just always look out for us in our nice bright red shirts or also our black shirts as well. And we're always here and happy to answer any questions or even come and say hi to us, because we're very welcoming and we want to meet you all, you lovely folks. That this is be a great space for all this floor. And go to our next slide, please. So here's an example. So you can see the amphitheater is on the first floor, and then the stairs leading upwards is usually where you'd meet the connection to the bridge, the library. So you can go to our next slide, please. So yes, so find us online at the SLC. While the SLC is not offering in-person tours unfortunately at the moment, because we want to keep our students nice and safe and you folks safe as well, but you can visit us anytime online. So you can find the SLC online on our website at ryerson.ca/SLC and keep up with us on Instagram at RyersonSLC. So you can see our links and social media handles are right there. But for anyone struggling to work or study from home, our website has a dedicated section called Our SLC at Home. So this section is full of resources, apps, and helpful tips to support you. Under our Explore the Building tab, you'll also find our virtual tour of the SLC. You can scroll through an illustrated cross-section of the building and watch videos at each floor. Our Instagram also has a highlight called Open House. You can find detailed information about each floor and the building. Or if you have any questions at any time, we're always here, happy to answer anything you may have. So please send us an email at slchelp@ryerson.ca. Overall, unfortunately, you may not be able to visit us right now in person, but we do ask you to explore ourselves online. So we can go to the next slide. So now we will have a Q&A session. As you see, some of the questions have been coming in through, and we can happy to answer the ones.
That was great, Kathy. Thank you so much. I know we were talking earlier that just seeing some of the pictures, I miss campus so much. So I feel like I am there right now. So thank you for going through that. We did have some questions go through the Q&A, and I've also got some questions that I would love to ask you. Is there anything in the Q&A that you want to answer, or do you want me to ask you a couple questions?
I think answer one of the questions right now.
Sure.
By Madeline. So is the SLC still open at this time and for the upcoming school year? So currently right now we are open, but we are open for students that need a dedicated space to study or need accessibility to Wi-Fi. So we are open to all students right now. We're only just open for Ryerson students because contact tracing, that's why we're just open to Ryerson students right now. So unfortunately, you can't come visit us in person yet. However, please make sure that you are able to visit us online or check us out on Instagram. In terms of the upcoming school year, we are constantly updating policies and figuring out new updates. But if you like to stay updated with us, I highly suggest you either follow us on Instagram, where we be posting a lot of live updates, or you can also check us out on our website.
Now, normally, when we're not in COVID times and things are back to normal, are students allowed in the SLC if they're not Ryerson students?
Yeah, so usually pre-COVID times, SLC is kind of like a public building open to the public. So basically any students can come by and hang out in the space. But unfortunately, just because of COVID, we're only dedicated to Ryerson students.
Now, what are some of the events that we host at the SLC? I know it's not just a study space, not just a hangout space, but there's some events that go on. So can you talk maybe about some of the events and how students find out about the events that are going on at the SLC?
Yeah, so during the SLC, we have tons of events that go out throughout the year. Some of the ones that we host some of them too, and also there are some that are hosted by student group or external parties. So the ones that we host annually is we host Taste the SLC, usually in the months of March and April, and we also have a Shop the SLC during the holiday times. So both Taste and Shop the SLC are usually run in the amphitheater, as you see in our main forest fire space, and it's basically a cute marketplace where small business owners or even students can come into the building and sell their products for the week. It's a really great time during the holiday season with Shop the SLC because you can able to stop by and maybe find some cute handmade gifts that you can give to your friends or relatives. It's a really great time. It's personally one of my favorite times of the year because I love shopping. So it's like shop when working. One of the two combination together. Also, Taste SLC is really great. The difference between Taste and Shop the SLC is that Taste is more focused on foods. So a lot of times you'll see people bring in foods from different cultures, ethnics. It's honestly a really great time to try out new foods because they're all there at one spot. Yeah, that's what my favorite two events are. And also, there are some events that are hosted by student groups or students on campus. So there's always something going along in the amphitheater when we were pre-COVID times. Yeah.
And how do students find out about some of the events?
Yes, so there's multiple ways you can find us through events. You can check us out on our website. We'll be posting events on there. You can check us on our Instagram social media page where we'll be posting events and postings of coming ones. There's also, if you visit in the SLC, we have giant screens above the elevators that tell us about what's coming up soon. And there's also giant touch screen monitors where you can figure out what events are coming soon as well.
Now, speaking of food, I know I frequent the SLC for food options when I'm on campus. So can you talk about food in the SLC? Are students allowed to bring in food? What's the situation there?
Yeah, so food, as we know, we are in the heart of downtown. So there's food options every single block you go to. So lots of options of food downtown. In terms of eating, you can eat in the SLC, so you can free flow to bring in any external food, except right now we do ask that if you are eating to SLC that we do ask you keep your mask on at all times. Unless you are eating or drinking, then you can take it off for that short period of time. But usually when back to normal, a lot of times people would bring in their food here. A really famous one was when Chick-fil-A first opened on Bloor. A lot of people would get Chick-fil-A and bring it here. So it's a really great space so you can eat your food here as well.
I know I personally frequent the SLC for the coffee option. So coffee in the SLC?
Yeah, so particularly we don't necessarily have a coffee station in the SLC, but we do have we do have a Starbucks in SLC. Forgot about that. Currently it's not open right now, but when it is open during not COVID times, there's a SLC, a Starbucks. There's a Starbucks and the SLC on the main floor. It's a really great option because students are able to walk in, grab their Starbucks, and then possibly go to the library for some study space, or go to class, or even stay in the SLC. So Starbucks is right on campus and literally right inside the building, so you don't have to leave the building at times.
I know when I was a student, it was literally like down to the main floor, get your Starbucks, up to the 7th floor to study, down to get your afternoon coffee, a lot of back and forth. So very convenient. We love it. Now, I know you're talking about some of the rooms and spaces in the SLC where students can book them out. So can you talk a little bit about the booking process and how, if I wanted to get a room to study in the SLC, how would that work?
Yeah, so as mentioned beforehand, you can book a room. So we do have links on our website where you can book a room. In order to book a room, we do ask you to have Ryerson credentials, since these rooms are mainly reserved for Ryerson students. When you go on the SLC website, you're able to make a booking there, sign in with your Ryerson credentials, and then you can book, choose which room you want to book on. Remember that booking rooms are available on the 8th, 7th, and 5th floor. Unfortunately, we aren't open for booking rooms right now, as we only focus on just individual desk bookings. So these rooms, unfortunately, are closed right now. But when we are not in COVID times, these rooms will be open. The reason why I just kept these rooms closed is just because for contact tracing, and also to ensure that we're able to clean and make sure that the building is safe for the students coming in here right now.
Amazing. We actually had a student asking about employment opportunities. So is it students that work in the Starbucks in the SLC? And maybe could we also hear about like your journey for working in the SLC? Like what made you want to start working there?
Sure. I'm not too sure about the folks that work at the Starbucks and SLC. Perhaps someone else can answer that, because I'm not too familiar about that section. But in terms of my job and how I got it, so I started back last year in August 2019. So it's been a year since I worked here. So this is going to my second year working at the SLC. So how I applied to this position is that honestly through like Facebook pages that I found someone like previously working here and they posted about the opportunity. But we can also check out is that on Ryerson, we have a lot of on-campus jobs as well. So we have something called Career Boost and also a Ryerson career website. And a lot of times folks are able to post open job opportunities. That's how I applied to this role. It's that I applied through the Ryerson Careers website. And then that's way I got through the interview and stuff like that. So I applied. The applications were back in like June or July. That's when they usually open. And I got hired in July. So it was a really fun journey. I loved working here because not gonna lie, back my first year, I spent a lot of time in SLC because I had nowhere else to go at times. And I don't have the luxury of going back and forth between classes because I live about an hour commute away. So this space was really special to me because I could spend so much time here. So I love this space so much. I spent so much time here anyway, so might as well work here anyways. Plus, it's honestly been like such a great journey. It's honestly one of my best options working here because they're so like student oriented. They're so welcoming to students in terms of like work schedules. They've been students before. A majority of the staff, like they understand that you have assignments due, you have exams. So they really try to accommodate to make sure that you're all well and fit as a student. And since this job is mainly Ryerson student based, so it's a really great opportunity for myself because I get to meet so many new students throughout different programs, faculties, and it's really cool meeting new people as well.
When I went to Ryerson, I also had a job on campus. I worked at the athletic center, but I totally agree with you. Like I met so many people from so many different programs that I never would have met, including my neighbor. My neighbor ended up working at the athletic center with us and I didn't know him. And through that connection, we became really great friends. So I definitely encourage if you decide to join us at Ryerson to check out some of the on-campus job opportunities because you could be like Kathy and join us at the SLC because there's so many really cool opportunities. Now, I know from my time again at the SLC, the staircases are pretty cool and fun. So can you talk a little bit about the art that are in these staircases?
Yeah, so the staircases are really special because in terms of art, we have chalk art drawings on our staircase. They're really cool and they're really cute puns. I know one of them was like about a llama, like just trying to get my diploma llama. There's some of them that's got like sees the movement about like a dancing cow. Are so many fun ones throughout the building, but seriously, sometimes when during busy hours pre-COVID, the elevators could get really busy with a lot of students going through the building. So I take the stairs, and the stairs with the really cute drawings, really cute, keep you motivated and keep you walking throughout the building.
It is definitely a motivation boost. I know sometimes going from floor 1 to floor 5 is emotionally scarring, but those help me personally when I make that journey. Are there certain floors in particular that tend to be rather popular, or is it just across the SLC, everything's pretty popular among students?
Yeah, there are some floors that are pretty popular. I would say, I have to say, the 6th floor has been pretty popular. Reason being is that students are able to hang out with each other, and it's a really nice and chill, relaxed space, because you definitely don't expect it to like have that in the city, because in the city you just think like, corporate buildings, stuff like that. But it's a really nice, cute getaway, I like to call it, when you're on the 6th floor. So that's really one of the popular floors. And also during exam time, or when people have to get a crunch time for midterms, the 7th floor is usually packed. So finding a desk may be a bit difficult there, but you can always book a room earlier in advance and have a study session with your friends in one of the CGWRs.
We did have a question earlier from someone talking about animals in the SLC. So are animals allowed in the SLC? And maybe you could talk about like service dogs or therapy dogs?
Yes, so you are able to like walk your dog outside on the campus. We do have a lot of gorgeous green spaces. So within Curra Hall buildings, we have a middle called the Quad, where sometimes you will see people playing with their dogs around there. Unfortunately, majority of dogs aren't allowed in campus buildings, but we do welcome service dogs, or we also have therapy dogs. So usually pre-COVID, we have therapy dogs brought in the SLC in the DMZ sandbox every Wednesday, provided by RU Wellness. So sometimes like pre-COVID, when like I was getting stressed on campus, stuff like that, I need something to do, I would go visit the therapy dogs. They're really cute, and the fact that they come on campus is really awesome. But even though they're not on campus right now, they are running online right now, so you can catch them on sometimes we will be promoting them on the SLC Instagram page, so you can also see them online as well, even though you aren't able to see them in person right now.
Another great reason to follow the SLC on Instagram, whether you're a student or a prospective student, check out the therapy dogs because they're pretty great. Wondering if there's computers that students are able to access in the SLC.
Yes, so we don't necessarily have computers in the SLC, but however, since we are connected to the library does have a computer lab in there where students are able to book a computer and use it. The library also has some laptop rental programs where you can like borrow a laptop for the day and then return it. You can figure out more about the library services that they offer in terms of borrowing technology or using a computer on the Ryerson library website. But the SLC, we don't necessarily have computers in stock, but you are able to borrow from the library next door.
Perfect. And again, during like normal times, I should say, what are traditionally like the hours of the SLC? Is it open 24 hours, 7 days a week? Like I know the hours vary, especially like exam season, it changes a little bit and things like that. But traditionally, what tends to be the hours of the SLC?
Yeah, so usually pre-COVID, we were open 7 days a week. We're open at 7 a.m. in the morning and we close at 1 a.m. at night. So we aren't open 24 hours, but we're almost sort of closed there by about like a 6-hour gap. But that was pre-COVID, so we were 7 days a week from 7 to 1 a.m. But now during COVID, we did reduce our hours since majority of the Ryerson students are currently studying online. So we are open now Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you're able to book a space with us right now. If you want to visit the SLC, you need to be a Ryerson student and coming in to book a study space before you come into the building. But pre-COVID times, we were almost close to 24 hours, but not quite.
And that's when that Starbucks really does come in handy, especially in the morning. Kathy, thank you so much. You're such a wealth of knowledge. And the fact that you're a student employee, I think it just like shares a perspective and it helps people who are watching this actually envision themselves at Ryerson. So thank you so much for taking the questions and for delivering that presentation. We are going to shut down our audio and video now, meaning you won't be able to see or hear us, but we'll definitely still be online for the next 10 minutes. If you have any more questions, please do continue populating them in the Q&A pod on the Zoom window, and our staff members are more than happy to answer your questions. On behalf of Ryerson University, thank you once again for joining us, and we hope to see you at some of the other sessions this week, and we hope that you continue to stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.